What's up? We are live. Nice to see you. Big things today, crypto holders. Time to pay attention to what's going on because we just got some great economic data coming in. Also, big Bitcoin news. We've got big altcoin news, lots of exciting stuff. So make sure to stick around for all of the goods. And of course, second half of the stream, we'll be answering your questions. So I look forward to that. Hope you do as well. So save your burning questions till then. We'll try to answer as many as we can. Let's get into it. So, economic data coming in today. Q2 GDP beat estimates. Look at this. The estimate was coming in at 2.8%. This is crazy. It actually came in at 3%. So the US economy grew 3% quarter on quarter. Pretty hard to feel like you're about to have the new Great Depression when the GDP keeps going up, doesn't it? I know, but the yield curve's uninverting. I get it. The unemployment rate could be going up. We'll see, of course, September 6th when we get the official month report. But Ohio, what's up? Hello from Ohio. Nice to see you, ma'am. Good morning from Vietnam. Good morning. Love Vietnam. Great food. These are crazy economic points. Look at the GDP, man. US GDP is just roaring. Where's our Great Depression? I know the economy can turn over very quickly, and there's a lot of indicators that are saying, hey, things aren't that great, etc. But look, initial jobless claims came in just under by 1,000, just under. So that's good. Core prices, again, looking okay. Very, very interesting. Consumer spending, this is a very important one too, came in at 2.9% versus the estimate at 2.3%. So consumer spending stays strong. But I was told everybody's broke. Look, there's always going to be people who are broke in the economy. And you can't argue, of course, right now that in the USA, which is the global economic engine and a very important part of the global economy, if a US recession happens, it's probably bad for all risk markets, blah, 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 blah. But the US consumer keeps on spending. I know, but you're going to hear, but the credit card delinquency rates and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's a lot of problem too. This is a problem. There's lots of problems out there, okay? Lots of problems. Right now, we still get good data coming in. So it's interesting to watch out for. Obviously, a lot of risks remain, and those remaining risks will continue to weigh heavy on the market. Has Jerome Powell left interest rate cuts too late? Will it be too little too late? Should he have cut back in June or July? Maybe. Remember, this is when the Fed does anything with the economy, they take a sledgehammer to it, basically. A very slow motion sledgehammer. And it takes a little while for things to play out. So we could still see economic chaos unfolding, but these are very interesting numbers nevertheless. Lynn Alden pointing out, when the number of jobs revised down, it went viral on social media. It did. We had the revision down by 800,000 jobs. So 800,000 fewer jobs, still 1.6 million jobs up, I think it was. And it did not affect the unemployment rate, that in particular. She says, but then when GDP for Q2 is now revised up relative to its earlier estimate, it's not as popular of a story to spread. Sensationalism and bad news tends to spread much more than good news. Always been the case. Always been the case. If it bleeds, it leads. Here's an interesting one from Mike Zagardi. He says, S&P 500 returns 12 months after the first rate cut, according to Schwab. Look, this is very interesting. These are the returns of the S&P 500 12 months after the first rate cut. Now, in some of these situations, right, when you're looking at this, so a lot of positive returns here. In some of those situations of positive returns, the rate cuts came in the middle of a recession, and the rate cuts are what lifted the markets out of the recession. Or maybe we had a bit of a further fall post rate cuts, and then we saw things start to recover. So you can see very strong bounces back in those situations. Well, it's also very, very interesting. The second chart here. S&P 500 returns are far better when we get non-recession cuts, plus 17% 12 months after. Again, the key thing here, we are about to have interest rate cuts happen in a non-recession. I know some people, well, the recession's already here, Lark. Look at all the people that are hurting in the economy. I get it. I'm not oblivious to that fact. But the GDP is still growing. There's enough positive things continuing to happen in the economy that it's not falling into a recession. Now, we've had some slowing of growth and stuff like that in some areas. And there are some things that are starting to rear their head that could say inflation might make a comeback, like container prices going up. And there's other things that are saying, well, look, trucking is down a bit, but then rail freight's up. So like there's all these conflicting things. Again, makes it a hard picture to look at. But what's interesting, and I need to keep pointing this out, is that when you have rate cuts and there's no recession, it tends to be good for markets. So we shall see. Again, all eyes on the unemployment data when it comes out, of course, in a week or so. S&P 500, still not doing very much today. Still threatening, of course, that double top scenario. We need to start seeing the prices break above 56.70 to get a nice reversal. Why are we talking about the S&P 500? Because in some distant reality of mine, when the equity markets start bumping, Bitcoin will as well. One of these days, we always seem to not follow stocks up, but the second stocks go down by 1%, the entire crypto market pukes its guts out every time. Anyway. Jose says, Lark, what do you think? Are we going to go through a recession or are we getting fake Fed news? We go nuclear on stocks and crypto and crash mid-year next year. Part of me thinks we're going to crash mid-year next year or something like that. I'm increasingly paying attention to the idea of that Q1 market top. We'll have to pay the piper at some point, but it's not quite here yet. It'll take a little while for that to catch up. Then, mid-year next year, as you said here, perhaps that's when things really, the crap hits the fan, right? DXY starting to show a little bit of recovery here. Remember, we talked about that scenario yesterday with the MACD bull cross coming in. Maybe we get a little bit of a rally before that continues lower. Hey, real quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is Control Wallet. So if you haven't heard of Control Wallet yet, this is being launched by the guys behind XDeFi, which when it came out was one of the most revolutionary wallets in the game with some absolutely awesome stuff. So really cool to see what these guys are doing over here at Control Wallet. Basically, this thing is going to be like the super wallet. Okay, so we're talking basically every blockchain that you could imagine is going to be supported by the wallet. So if you've been using crypto wallets at all, you know that you don't get much wide support. You have Solana wallets, do Solana, you have Polkadot wallets, you have Cosmos wallets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? This one brings them all under one roof. Your Bitcoin, your Ethereum virtual machine equivalent chains like Avalanche, your Ethereum layer 2s, your Solana, your Cosmos chains, etc. 1,800 chains supported in total, which is insane. Plus all the tokens, all the NFTs, all that kind of stuff. So huge, huge support here. Plus they have all kinds of great sign-up features for the wallet. You can start your wallet using a Google or an X account, for example, for ease of use. Or of course, if you want to go that more traditional route, you can use the 24-word passphrase. Plus, they have a universal gas tank, which is super cool. So you can put USDC or XDeFi tokens into that gas tank and then pay your gas across any of the chains. Now, if you, like me, have been on chain a lot, you're probably using a lot of chains. Like this year, I think I've used, 20 different chains or something. That's crazy. So it's nice to have one place where you can pay all that gas from instead of having to have like a little bit of money on each chain. So you always have gas fees over there, or like you run out of gas, you have to go to a bridge and blah, 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 right? So this kind of removes a bit of that. Plus, if you're using XDeFi there, they actually burn a lot of the XDeFi tokens that they earn as a company from those fees and stuff like that. So anyway, pretty cool. If you want to get signed up for their mobile wallet, which is coming soon, by the way, so check it out. Link down below in the description. Thank you for supporting our sponsors, and thank you to Control for sponsoring today's stream. So let's continue. Somebody was saying, somebody wrote me on Twitter about this today. By the way, we'll just address that real quick. Somebody saying, please address the incorrect volume number referenced yesterday. Alien-based volume was actually $27,000 yesterday, not 700. ? CoinMarketCap is unreliable. Please use DEX screener small caps. Great. Thank you very much for that update. So that was in response to yesterday. Somebody asked about Alien Base. We looked at it on CoinMarketCap. It showed $700 in daily volume for this token, which is abysmal. I got to tell you, though, man, $27,000 is also utterly abysmal total volume. But it's definitely better than $700. Let's put it that way. So again, as yesterday we talked about, be careful of these very, very low volume coins. Okay, so moving on. Price of Bitcoin, not doing much yet. I know what you're thinking. When's it going to do something, Lark? Hopefully October gives us a bit of excitement there. Remember, seasonality in markets. August tends to be a pretty lame month. September can be a pretty rough month too. Rate cuts are coming. That could put a bit of wind in the sails of the markets more broadly, both equity markets and crypto markets. So that could be pretty good. We shall see. Of course, how things tend to play out, but Uptober is coming. Fingers crossed. Let's make Uptober real, guys. Come on. Anyway, right now, Bitcoin is continuing to put in these higher lows. As long as we don't break under $56,000, that should hold that for a while. So that's good. Again, though, what we saw today, just classic. Look, this beautiful rally day. We got up to almost $62,000. Basically, a retest of the 50-day EMA, rejected, retested the bull market support band, rejected, retested the critical area of price resistance. That 62K itself rejected. There's so many critical levels right there of price resistance. That's when we need to get some definitive move over with real spot buying driving the move, not just some, news driven like we're going to go up again kind of excitement, but actual sort of stuff piling up here. I liked this chart from Honey XBT mainly because it, is nice confirmation bias for me. I dig it. She says Bitcoin following my squiggly nicely. No sweep 49K, expecting the chop to end within a week or two, and then we start marching towards new highs in Q4. In this scenario, we don't hit that new high according to the chart here until around late October or something like that, or early November. So for perspective, here's an interesting chart for you. Take my head off screen so you can see the whole thing. I have one question for retail investors. How much longer are you going to wait? How much longer are you going to wait? Says Axel. You can see this line on the chart here shows retail investor demand. Right now, retail investor demand dead. Here we had a lot of retail investor demand. And this tells you everything you need to know about the markets. I'll just take myself out there for 1 second. Everybody wanted to buy Bitcoin at $74,000. Nobody wants to buy Bitcoin at $50-some thousand. Crazy, isn't it? Every single time, man. Every time. Hilarious. Solana, by the way, continuing to hold up much better than lame Ethereum. We're just going to just flood the crap out of my bags here. Let's just start calling it lame Ethereum, man. Lame Ethereum. Anyway. Somebody's saying, okay, I guess it was $80,000 in alien-based volume. Guys, $80,000 is still lame. I'm just going to put that out there. Anyway, let's just say if you want to check volume for the alien-based coin, you should go to DEX Screener and check it, okay? Okay, there we go. Apologies for getting wrong numbers. You do what you can with the data that you get when you get it. So much conflicting data across so many places. It can be hard sometimes to get the correct data. Anyway. Lark, we're looking at a 42K BT Bitcoin target in September. We shall see. We shall see. A lot of those 40-some K calls coming out, 30K calls, stuff like that. Markets are definitely not showing a huge amount of strength right now. We are still in a downtrend for Bitcoin. Anyway, it'd be interesting to see here if Solana maintains on the 200-day EMA. Right, Solana's on the verge of slipping into bearish territory here. Bearish MACD cross just came in yesterday here, so not great to see those two things coinciding. Everybody, of course, now rushing over to Tron. That's where all the fun's happening at now for meme coins. So interesting. Hey, speaking of Solana, by the way, Solana-based prediction market bet on Drift has surpassed Polymarket in 24-hour volume for the first time. Bet on Drift getting $20 million, Polymarket getting $12.4 million. So a new casino has opened up on Solana. Maybe that's going to put some wind back in the sails here for Solana. I had a feeling that this would be pretty damn popular. See, Polymarket's on Polygon, which just hasn't got the sort of level of viral popularity that Solana's got this cycle. So that same prediction market coming to, well, not the same one, but a new one from a different player, but the same idea coming to Solana. Apparently popular. Apparently popular. I dig it. Cozy here saying it's about to get crazy. U.S. elections coming up. You can see what happened the last two times when we had U.S. elections. Bitcoin 4-year cycle, China 4-year credit cycles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So much of it lines up. As long as we don't get some killer U.S. recession in the next few months, well, we could be off to the races. Hey, Polkadot guys, good news. Somebody put Lionel Messi in a Polkadot shirt. There he is. There he is. Lionel Messi, man, this dude's just all over crypto, man. I know this is for his team, Inter Miami, but it's quite funny because Messi's been a brand ambassador for BitGet. He's done like posts for like random meme coins and stuff. And anyway, Polkadot's now sponsoring the Inter Miami team. Does that move the bar much for Polkadot brand awareness? I guess we'll see. Polkadot Treasury's definitely got plenty of money to spend on this kind of stuff. So this is interesting, by the way. We were talking about that alien base coin earlier, which certainly not recommending anybody to go buy that, right? Got my criticisms in terms of volume and liquidity and stuff. But anyway, apparently liquidity is deep enough, but still, volume's not great. But base season, by the way, shout out to base season. Base season, absolutely crazy. Look at this, 13 million monthly active addresses on base right now. At the beginning of the year, there were less than 1 million active addresses on the network. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Base season is gonna be total mayhem. In hindsight, it will be blindingly obvious. I think so. My base bags are packed and ready to go. If you want to see what I have in my portfolio, as always, link down below in the description on YouTube or the pinned comment over on X. You'll find what coins I currently hold, my private sale investments, all the other stuff there. Plus a risk statement, because investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. Don't forget it. Now, my base bags are pretty well packed. We've got a huge bag of Brett. We got some Miggles. We got some Benji. Shout out to the good dog on base. Benji, my boy. We got a lot of Aerodrome as well. Big liquidity farming position for Aerodrome, which has been paying pretty well so far. We haven't ROI done it yet, but we're doing pretty good so far. So I think we'll get an ROI on that in not so distant future. Anyway, base, man. Base. Big news for Avalanche, introducing Tix Chain, another Avalanche Layer 1, tokenizing 25 million tickets on chance. Crazy. 5-year deal with Paso, who handles 25 million tickets annually. Turkish national team, UEFA Champions League, Europa League, specifically designed for ticketing, meets GDPR compliance and data laws, regulation of secondary market revenue share, and fraud prevention. This is something I've always thought is such a huge use case because there's so much. We've talked about this for years. I remember talking back in... gosh, must have been late 2017, early 2018. I interviewed the guys from Aventus. If you remember that one. Are they even still around doing stuff? I don't know. But I thought it was such a great idea back then. Bringing ticketing on the blockchain because there's so much fraud and all kinds of other BS happening in the ticketing space. So this is cool. And of course, that's happening on Avalanche. Great. More awesome stuff happening for Avalanche. I love it. Avalanche stablecoin liquidity, by the way, at its highest level since October 2022. Nice. Liquidity rising. That's great. Fantastic to see. Now, it's only $2 billion, so it's not insane, but doing pretty good. Jules says, yeah, and Lark still says volume isn't good, which it is if you check. Okay, guys, I don't care about alien base. If I've got numbers wrong there, by all means, I'm wrong. The numbers are wrong. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Okay. If you're interested in alien base, go engage with what they're doing. Go to Deck Screener, look at the official volume stuff and whatever. It's all good. Okay. Wishing you guys the best. I hope your bags go to the moon. Okay. Apology if I got any numbers wrong there. Again, you used a lot of conflicting data points out there. So by all means, if the data is wrong, then I read that and it was wrong. So it's all good. Maybe the volume is much, much more. Fantastic. Great. Still a small cap coin with high risk. If you want to get into that, then obviously high upside potential if it works out being good, right? They have a lot of uphill battle with a lot of stuff, of course, launching on base, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, let's talk about another low cap coin. That's Edge Matrix Computing. EMC successfully raised $20 million. So this one I got a bag of. They have support from Amber Group, Polygon Ventures. So huge, huge backing coming in here. $20 million raised. And their current market cap is only like $20 million. Their fully diluted value is much higher, obviously, but still pretty gosh darn cool. And a reminder as well, they've got their test net campaign going on right now. So you can actually go and earn EMC tokens, which might be worth more in the future, of course, hopefully. But you can do that by participating on their free test net. So if you want to go check that out, then check that out. Okay, so real quick as well, let's do a quick shout out to Bybit. Guys, if you're a cryptocurrency trader, go check out Bybit. Best place to be trading crypto. 2 great offers, which of course none is available to Americans and Brits. Sorry, guys. Everybody else, if you want to get a $500 free trade, check out Bybit because you can come over there and after you deposit, so use the link down below, start your account, deposit $100 or more, and then you can claim your free trade over on Bybit. So that's a $500 USDT BTC trade or ETH trade or Pepe trade, and you can keep all the spoils from that trade. Plus, you'll get some raffle tickets for their big 100K prize giveaway, F1 tickets, funded trading accounts, and more details in the description. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk crypto coins, guys. Okay. Let's go. Only 3. Oh, I'm not going down the alien base. We're ignoring all alien base stuff. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Where are we at? Jerome Powell, man, big hit, big fan. We got Jerome Powell in the house, guys. Big fan, man. Love what you're doing with the rate cuts, buddy. Anyway. Love it. Hey, bull market hasn't started yet, in my opinion. Waiting for the M2 money supply. When I start printing, we start bumping. Indeed. You know, when it comes to everything that's happening, right? The Fed cuts coming, global liquidity index on the rise, M2 money supply increasing, U.S. economy staying just belligerently, stubbornly not in a recession. Sets us up decent. Okay. Okay. Clark, do you play Fortnite? I do not play. I don't play any video games. No time, ma'am. Got 2 little kids. Don't have time to play video games. But I like investing in video games. Invested in quite a few crypto games. Has not worked out super well recently, but I have faith that that's going to turn around and that throughout the cycle, at some point, we'll see some gaming hype really heat up. To quote Dune, survival is the ability to swim in strange water. Vivek says, global liquidity going up, supposed to peak end of 2025. What can derail it? Yeah, I've actually got a video I'm going to make pretty soon, basically saying sell in 2025 and go away. Not financial advice, obviously, but a lot of stuff is aligning for 2025 market top. Now, when we top, that's a whole different idea of discussion. Is it going to be March? Is it going to be December? Who knows? But chances are, if the recession doesn't happen tomorrow or next week or the week after next week, as some people keep calling for, and the thing with recessions is that people will call for recessions 100 times before one actually happens. There's this constant just doom poster content creator out there. It's the recession's always like seconds away and you have to sell everything right now and go short. And those same people who have been saying those same things have been saying that since the market bottom in October or November 22. Meanwhile, the equity rally has been insane. The crypto rally has been insane. I know crypto hasn't done as well in comparison to equity markets from the perspective, gains wise, obviously have been crazy, but from the perspective that we haven't really got this breadth of new highs for the market. I mean, Bitcoin went up to 74K. Or you're telling me the best we could do was that last cycle we had 69K and this cycle 74K the best. I actually saw some comment the other day, one of the videos saying, well, but diminishing returns and cycles, bro. So it's not going to diminishing returns and cycles. You don't generally go from 250% last cycle to 5% this cycle. Not quite the diminishing returns we're looking for, is it? You'd probably want to look at something like, okay, diminishing returns this cycle, maybe it's only going to be 100% or 120%. So I could say like 150, 160K, something like that. That's the diminishing returns I can get on board with. Plot twist. That's not the real Jerome Powell. Oh my gosh. I would have never known. Virtual Bacon did a great M2 money supply video 4 days ago. Shout out to Virtual Bacon, man. He's a cool cat. I've seen some of those funny comments. You guys are great. Okay. Video games are entertainment and a social interaction medium that hasn't been just for children for about 30 years now. It's just old. Not sure where that yeah, I'm sure it responds to somebody else, but yeah, I just have not had time for video games for a long time. I haven't really played video games on any sort of regular basis and probably trying to think when was the last time I even picked up and played a video game. No shade on people who play video games. I have fun. I just haven't had time for it. Hasn't been interesting enough for me, I guess. If I have free time, I don't know. I watch like videos on ancient civilizations or stuff like that. Or watching this great video last night on Easter Island and some of the rock like some of the rock walls on Easter Island and how those are, very similar to the rock walls in other places in the world. Very similar construction techniques. And then there was like one of the Moai statues, these big dude statues, and how it's got the back carvings that are very, very similar to stuff on Göbekli Tepe. I'm like, yeah, dog, that's my jam. Yeah, let's go. I love it. Anyway, I don't have much time for that stuff either, but generally when I have the chance, it's just playing with the kids, hanging out and doing all kinds of stuff, working, obviously, right? But yeah. Anyway, I think video games have become a much bigger phenomenon. Yeah, last time I played video games on a regular basis, probably 15 years ago, at least. Early 20s. I remember playing like Total War is probably one of the last games I played. Total War 2, I think, was one of the last games I probably played on any sort of like binge basis. I remember one day randomly as in Hong Kong, and I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I just like, it was a rainy day. I was like, screw it, man. I'm just going to go play video games. And so I went into one of those video game cafes and I was there for like 18 or 19 hours, man. As well as ones where you can like order food and they bring you over like the dim sum, you get a Coke and stuff. You're just like, all right, let's go, man. Let's beat this game. It was a good time. Okay. Neon Heroes. Yeah, I like the look of Neon Heroes. Those things. Somebody who played video games previously, I can look at these crypto games and like, yeah, that's cool. Neon Heroes, one I'm invested in. And I think has potential to do decently once we see crypto gaming hype turn back around. Made a few hundred from the airdrop in a few days. I mean, come on. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. I love hearing that. You sit down, you play a video game, crypto video game, right? You make a few $100. Amazing. Street Fighter. Classic, man. Grand Theft Auto, the classic. Oh yeah, that was, man. You look at how far those games have come. Like, remember Grand Theft Auto 1 versus, like, I saw the trailer for the new Grand Theft Auto. I was like, damn, that's not the Grand Theft Auto I played in PlayStation back in like 20 some years ago. Jeez. Lark, do you use CXs or DEXs to buy Bitcoin? I use centralized exchanges to buy my Bitcoin. What's your recommendation? Which ones? I mean, look, if you're using a decentralized exchange, in most cases, you're buying some wrapped Bitcoin equivalent, which is not actually Bitcoin. That can be useful for a variety of reasons, but you have to understand any sort of counterparty risks and stuff like that that may come from holding that wrapped Bitcoin variant. Just a thought. Buying the real deal Bitcoin, usually from a centralized exchange. There are some cross-chain swapping services, but not as many as there probably should be. So I just usually buy on like Binance or Bybit when I'm looking to buy some Bitcoin. Keeps it simple for my life. Just depends on what one's available to you. I mean, if you have an exchange like Coinbase or Binance or Bybit available to you, you're good to go, man. You're good to go. Those are good places to buy and then withdraw to your wallet. Surge Tower says Lincoln's been a bit depressed in this cycle. I expected a bit more hype. It did do pretty good. Relatively, right? But just, yeah, I feel like with CCIP and stuff, there was such hype potential. Look, Chainlink's still a very solid piece of infrastructure. I still hold a very large bag of Chainlink. But yeah, I think that hype-wise, it has just largely followed the rest of the altcoin cycle. We got up to $21, $22 around March or April. And then, of course, we've been down 50, 60% since then. It's not that surprising, as most of the rest of the altcoins are too. So think about where we are in the cycle and the potential Link still has moving forward. That's what keeps me, holding on to those Link bags. So Lark likes aliens, just not the coin. Ancient aliens, man. It's always so funny to watch. Like, what about these mysterious stones in Stonehenge? Ancient astronaut theorists say, it's aliens. It's aliens, man. I love it. It's hilarious. Lark, don't move to Dubai. I'm totally moving to Dubai. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm super excited about it. Again, I know there's people who I've been to Dubai. I know what Dubai is about. I know the pros and cons. It's all going to be good. I'm pretty excited about it personally. I think it's going to be a great move for our family, and at least, short term, maybe we're not going to be there forever. Maybe we'll be there for 2 years. Maybe we'll decide to move to Singapore or something later, or back to New Zealand. I don't know, but it's going to be an adventure, man. It's going to be a good time. Looking forward to it. Bitcoin to $500,000 in 2025. I think that's probably too bullish of a number, and that's a number that's probably going to get a lot of people stuck at and not taking any profits. I did a great breakdown on Bitcoin price predictions from top 50, Bitcoin people the other day. And I like that sort of $150,000 to $200,000 range for a cycle peak, assuming, of course, no Great Depression that comes around the corner. Obviously, caveat to all that. But I think it's a logical place for Bitcoin. A little bit of diminishing returns to an extent. Still pretty good, though. Altcoins rally hard. And then, of course, if Bitcoin goes, think about this, if Bitcoin goes to $200,000, everybody's going to be calling for 500K, which means not many people are going to sell. And they're not going to sell their altcoins, because that's really what we're talking about. You don't have to sell your Bitcoin. Just ride that multi-cycle if you're willing to, stomach the 75% volatility drops. Fine. But the altcoins, goodness gracious, man, you got to dump all that shit, man. I'm planning on every single one. See you later, altcoins. Not going to hold anything. I was even thinking in the shower this morning about stuff like Trader Joe or like Orderly. That's, very bullish asset. Orderly's got like 60% rev share and huge staking rewards and stuff right now. It's great. Backed by Woo, and Woo's one that I actually was a private sale investor in last cycle. Sold too early and then watched it go like super nuts. It's like, okay, I made money on it, but god darn it, I just wanted more money. But that rev share is crazy. But maybe that's one that you sell and then rebuy in the bear market, right? Anyway, those 500K calls, when they start coming, is probably what's going to get a lot of people trapped. Going to get a lot of people trapped, convince a lot of people not to sell in the same way I, bought my own damn hopium, so to speak, and fell into the group think of 100K Bitcoin last cycle. It's like, yeah, great. Sold a lot of altcoins, made a lot of money. Should have sold literally every single altcoin and walked away. Anyway, no need to explain, Lark. You're not old. You just have a life. I actually watched a lot of ancient civilization documentaries and shows on YouTube channels. I love that stuff, man. Super interesting. Super interesting. All good, man. I figured it wasn't. That's all good. It's all good. All right, we're a few minutes behind the chat. We're catch up in the chat here. What's your AVAX bull market prediction? Look, I'd be pretty keen to see it go to like $200. The 3.618 on the fib line is like $500, and if we go to a $10 trillion market cap, even just for a second, then we could get a much higher price than that, maybe $500, around where the 3.618 ends up at. But if I can go to see my AVAX bags at $200, boom, boom, I'd be pretty excited about that. When you selling, a lot of things to watch out for. And obviously, there's a lot of things in my mind around the recession and stuff like this, if there is going to be a recession and blah, 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 right? But the general hypothesis remains watch for a pi cycle top. I've got a whole list of indicators that I watch, and I made a video on that. I've even added a couple new things in there since then. So if you can see enough correlation coming in where you get, let's say, 7 out of 10 of those flashing, might be time to get out of market, especially if you see the pi cycle top indicator come in. But a couple others, well, maybe don't get the pi cycle top indicator. Maybe just almost get it. Maybe it's one where it's a fault, doesn't quite happen this cycle, for example. But if you're seeing enough other stuff flashing, it's time to start thinking about exiting markets. Again, you have to remove the idea from your mind that you're going to perfectly time the top, because you're not going to. You're not, okay? There's going to be like one dude who perfectly sells to the top, whatever that magical 1 second is going to be. Okay? Most people won't sell anything at all in the round trip their bags. Take money off the table, right? When prices start going crazy, start thinking about what's your exit strategy? How do you get out? How do you start taking money? And just like, you have to understand when the markets start getting toppy, and you don't have to perfectly sell the top or even near the top to make a lot of money in this market. When the markets start getting toppy, it's just like you got to start thinking. It's like you're in one of those glass box things where they start, blowing the money around with a fan, and you got to just grab as much as you can and stuff it in your pockets, because pretty soon they're going to turn the fan off and it all falls, and that's it. Just kind of like that, right? So market top very, very quickly. Look back at 2017 as an example. Price of Bitcoin hit $20,000 on December 18th, and by Christmas it was down almost 50% or something like that. Whew. Now, altcoins pumped over those next 2 weeks. And then as soon as they topped, they went down super hard as well. So the market top and then the subsequent drop happens real fast. So you got to be ready to react. And if you're continually taking money out of the market, as we start, once you start blasting past 72K and start seeing altcoins rallying up and stuff like that, it's okay to take money off the table. You don't have to ride the entirety of your portfolio to the top. I'm going to ride, hopefully, the majority of my portfolio up close enough, but I'll take money off the table throughout that time as well, just because general paranoia. Let's put it that way. The Anunnaki, yes. We can't even have a normal bull run, let alone build pyramids. I know. Could we go back to building pyramids, guys? That was awesome. Coinbase won't even let you sell the top. It always crashes, and then you get effed. Be ready for that kind of stuff. The craziest periods, usually Coinbase is not down that long. Again, you don't have to sell the top perfectly. Just close enough. Because what happens usually is once Bitcoin tops, it'll lose quite a bit of value quite quickly. But usually there's a period of time when you can still get, out if you want to sell your Bitcoin, that is. And certainly with altcoins, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get out at pretty good prices. But you have to, if you don't sell at that peak, right? You see the pie cycle top and all the other stuff coming in, and you say, fuck, man, that's like the top of the market, isn't it? But then for whatever reason, you're like, nah, it's gonna keep going up, and then starts going down. That's when it's one of the most dangerous periods for investors, because now you start bargaining with yourself. Nah, it's gonna go back up, it's gonna be okay. The charts are wrong, the macro's wrong, the pie cycle, it's a false signal this cycle, blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, all your bags are down 99% when you could have sold them. And it's so funny how this high watermark screws with your brain, because you'll look and, okay, let's say, for example, your portfolio runs from $200,000 right now to $3 million, right? Just an example. And so it gets up to 3 million. You don't sell because you think it's going to go 4, obviously. And then it's back down at 2, but you don't sell because you think it's going to go back up to 4, or maybe just to 3, and you'll sell 3 this time, and then it doesn't, right? But the whole time you're not actually realizing, hey, whoa, hold up, wait. You started with 200K and you have 2 million. Holy crap, freaking sell something, man. It's a 10X. It's $2 million. What are you doing? You're your own worst enemy in these markets. This BSKA question of the day. Lark, are you circumcised? Kind of a question is that? What kind of a question is that? You guys are hilarious. All right, we're up to. Let's go down and find a more reasonable question. You just described Dogecoin Million. Described a lot of people. It's a lot of people, man. If my portfolio does a nice 10X, I'll liquidate everything. Made the mistake on doing so last bull market. Spent the entirety of the last bear market DCF in cash rather than profits. This is a thing as well. And in the moment of greed, it leads to one of your biggest mistakes, right? Your biggest mistakes will be not selling, because the fear of going into cash, and I'm so looking forward to it. I've been so balls in on the market for such a long time. Like, it's going to be so relieving just to have USDC and Bitcoin. It'll be great. Anyway, but here's the thing. If you want to compound your wealth significantly from cycle to cycle, the only way you're going to do that with crypto, because the cycles are so volatile, right? We're not talking about the S&P 500 here, guys, where you just buy and hold forever, okay? This is crypto. And the majority of these coins are going to go down 99% in the bear market. And if you can sell for a good enough price and then just fucking wait, man. Don't touch anything. Just wait. Wait for the chaos to unfold. Maybe it goes a bit more and you're going to sit there and go, oh, I should buy. No, just wait. Just wait. You got your money. Wait for the markets to crash. They always crash. There will always be another horrific, gut-wrenching, puke-inducing crash in the market where everything goes down and bleeds out for a year to 2 years, right? And only if you sold close enough to the top, there's going to be a couple month window to do it. You're probably not going to time it perfectly, but if you get it good enough, you'll have a big pile of cash in your hand, and you can take, let's say, our example again, right? You're the guy who ran 200K to $2 million. Didn't perfectly time the top. In fact, he sold 33% under the top, right? Fine. You got $2 million now. You take care of your taxes, whatever. You're left with a very nice chunk of money. You can buy yourself something nice. Take some of that money, I don't know, put it in high yield deposits at the bank or something for a year, and just wait. And then you can take $1 million and buy back in at the bottom of the market, or close enough to the bottom of the market. You probably won't time the bottom perfectly either. Just get that idea out of your brain. But something will break, some exchange will go down, whatever kind of chaos will happen. The Ethereum restaking Ponzi collapses, whatever. There will be stuff that drag the markets into an oblivion. Always happens. And during that time, if you have cash, you can come in and buy extremely distressed assets. You can buy Solana for $8, or maybe the next bear market bottom's $30 or something like that. And you can buy your Avalanche for $10, and you can buy Pepe for whatever disgustingly low number it will be, for example, right? And then you just wait, and your $1 million can turn into $10 million. And that's how you can compound from cycle to cycle. Easier said than done, obviously. Sounds like a great idea, Lark. Just have to sell the top and buy the bottom. Yeah, I know, guys. Dreaming about what? Look at the chart. Double top, 72 already hit months ago. Yeah, well, there is definitely people who believe that people have that the market's over, right? 74K was it, down only, new bear market. If that's how you believe, then you've allocated yourself in that situation. I do not believe that, and if I'm wrong, I guess I'm going down with the ship. My biggest mistake was buying Cardano. It's been definitely an underperformer this cycle, but then a lot of the big coins have, so, you know. Lark, what are you going to do with your USDC, USDT in the next bear market? I'm going to leave it sitting in my cold wallet and do nothing with it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because during bear markets, the yields in DeFi dry up. So you're getting like 2 or 3%, 4% on your stable coins. It's not worth the risk. It just isn't. You're going to risk $1 million, for example, in some DeFi protocol that can get hacked, and then they're hacked and all your money's gone. But you could have got 4% APY. I wouldn't sleep well at night knowing that I've got $1 million sitting in a DeFi protocol in the middle of a bear market when I know shit gets hacked. Sometimes it's inside jobs and devs just exit scamming. Sometimes it's just whatever. All kinds of stuff happens. USDC and Bitcoin in my hardware wallet. Done. Don't think about it. Limitless trading. Yeah, we covered the Edge Matrix story a few minutes ago. How low will Bitcoin go in the next bear market, in your opinion? Depends on how high we go. If we go to 200K, well, we're probably, as long as it's not like a new Great Depression and 10 years of, if Great Depression, stock markets went down, 80% or something like that? Global financial crisis in 2008 went down 50%. And if that happens, then this could be a very, very, very bad market for crypto coins whenever the eventual U.S. recession comes, right? Because it will come as a normal part of the business cycle. If we go up to 200K, standardly, you'd probably expect something like a bottom around probably here. Crazy to think about, but we might be around the current price of Bitcoin might be around the bear market bottom for next cycle. Now, if we get that much worse recession scenario, then all bets are off. You might see it go down, 90% or something in the next bear market, but that's fully dependent on like the worst recession of our generation kind of stuff, which I don't know. I guess I've been around a while. 2008 felt pretty bad. How many worst recessions of my generation do I need to get? One or two more here, guys, and then we're going to finish up for today. Lark, did you see BRICS as a discussion integrate BTC? I haven't seen that as BTC specifically. I know that Russia is integrating cryptocurrencies more broadly, not just Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies more broadly for international payments. They've legalized Bitcoin mining in the country. They're launching cryptocurrency exchanges in Moscow, government-owned and run ones. If in terms of BRICS, I know that BRICS is going to be running their new payment system on the blockchain. How funny would it be if they launch an Ethereum layer 2, man? Oh my gosh. Washington, D.C.'s like the heads are going to explode. Like, you can't use it. Oh my gosh, it'd be hilarious. Anyway, I have no idea how they're probably going to have some centralized database that's kind of like a blockchain. But anyway, we'll see. It's not going to be Bitcoin specifically. It's sort of more broadly. They're taking a crypto stance, but that's very interesting. Some of the world's biggest economies, Russia, India, China, Brazil, are moving towards a crypto economy, which is pretty crazy. One more here for you guys. I'll move to Dubai from the US just because you prefer Binance over Coinbase. Binance is pretty cool. Cardano is like an ex I used to love. Made 18K from 1K in 21, but wouldn't go back. I know the feeling, man. I got like a 50X on Cardano. I was like, yes, Charles, what's up, man? Love it. But I don't think I'd be buying again this cycle. Personally, maybe something will happen to change my opinion on that. But right now, I think I'm pretty well stacked in my portfolio. Avalanche, for example, feels a lot more attractive to me compared to Cardano, especially when, hold on a second. Let me just have a quick look here. We'll finish up on this thought. I think that, where are we at here? Cardano is worth 12.7 billion. Avalanche is worth 9.3 billion. So Avalanche is literally cheaper than Cardano, but on basically every network metric has a lot more bullish things going on compared to Cardano. I would buy AVAX every day of the week, man, versus Cardano right now. No shade on Cardano holders. Okay, I love you guys. We love Cardano. We love Charles around here. It's all good. Just trying to keep it real. What I would do with my money. Not telling you what to do with your money, as always. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back on Monday next week. It's Friday here. Enjoy your weekend. We got some great videos coming for you. I'll see you back then. Peace.